Welcome everyone to another episode of Q&A with Sharon's son George. I was my mother's caregiver after she was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Sadly, she passed on 1/1/2020, but we started together for Sharon.com in her memory and to advocate for a cure for all those still battling PD today and their families, because no one is ever alone in this fight for a cure. Today's guest is someone who I feel is not just an inspiration, but incredible. And we've been friends for a long time, and this has actually been a long time planning because there's been so many interesting parts to it. It's one that I hope you'll all smile, laugh, and also I'm really excited because not just do we have the amazing, incredible Ruby, but we also have a special guest. But before we bring the special guest on, maybe Ruby, you could tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I know that we've been going back and forth about when can we meet and things like that. So I really appreciate the time that you're going to give me today to talk a little bit about uh, me and my story and my mom's story. So my connection with Parkinson's is that my mom was diagnosed almost 20 years ago with Parkinson's disease. She got diagnosed in Mexico, where our hometown. And for the first 4 years, we didn't really know a lot about the disease until we found the Muhammad Ali Parkinson Center, where we've been coming here for like the last 12 years after her diagnosis. So now I started as a volunteer with the Hispanic Outreach Program, and now I'm the Hispanic Outreach Program Coordinator here at the Muhammad Ali Parkinson Center at the Barrow Neurological Institute.
Well, congratulations on all your accomplishments. We have so much to talk about. Just a few of the words you said are so important. I want to really touch on a lot of these areas. Also, just incredible the work you put in and the World Parkinson's Congress. We send our love, but I hope it's okay with you to dedicate today to your mom, because I feel that we might be a voice, but we will never let them be forgotten, and all those battling still today. So thanks for
Yes.
that. I just wanted
Yeah, and
to
I do actually have a special guest with me today. I think a lot of people knew when they announced the World Parkinson's Congress, where was it going to be. I think it's not, as soon as they saw my face on the screen, they were like, "Oh, it's in Phoenix." So I'm gonna introduce you to our special guest also today. Parky is here.
Oh, Parky, welcome to the show, except you're faded out. So we'll give Parky a minute to take. Oh, there
Oh,
we
he
go.
was
Hey,
hiding. He was hiding.
Parky.
Yeah.
Hey.
Uh, so Parky got here to Phoenix last year when he was trying to like find a place where the poor Parkinson's could be, and he ended up here. He's been hanging out with me for the last couple of months. He's been doing some appearances. He went to the Parkinson's Foundation walk in Tucson, then here in Phoenix. He was just last weekend. He was at the Muhammad Ali Parkinson Center Walk the Fight, Run the Distance walk. It was their 19th annual walk, so he was there too. People were able to take a picture with him. He was in a water station, so people were taking pictures with him that you can submit to the Congress and maybe win one of the raffle prizes that they do every at the end of the month, every Friday, the last Friday of the month. So if you took a picture with Parky at that walk, or any walks, you can submit it to win a prize. But yeah, so Parky, I'm pretty sure you have done your research on Parky, George. So if you want to share a little bit about him.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of celebrities on the show, but this one I've been waiting 2 years. We also even have a visitor, another special. This is a packed crowd, but his cousin is here, the other Parky. So we also we're going to share at the end of the show you can also support the World Parkinson Congress and purchase your own Parky to have at your home. We've had two now, so I had one from Barcelona, but I'm so excited to have you here, Parky. I was, not to get a little tough because these topics are not always easy. But my mother passed away 5 years ago due to Parkinson. But 2 years after, I had a weird, I was in the world where there's a million people more in the US, and that was it. Well, I somehow, I don't even know how, but through Facebook, social media, clicked on something called the World Parkinson Congress, and I had never heard of it. And I wish I did, to be honest, because it would have saved a lot of beautiful stories and things because for 15 years, my mother didn't know anyone who had Parkinson's, and I didn't even know anyone even existed. So when I found that, I just kind of heartbroken, but also very inspired. And I decided it's not just about me and my mother anymore. It's about everybody throughout the world. The 10 million people affected by Parkinson battling became my instant family, like Ruby, and now today Parky too. And I just can't tell you how grateful I am to both of you and to Eli and to the entire organization, who I do hope, as long as my health's okay, I'll be meeting finally for the first time in Arizona in 2026. And we'll be sharing all that information so everybody can join us. One thing I do love, and we'll share this later, I know Parky has a lot of important meetings today, so we had the honor to have him at least for a few moments. But I love how you can follow Parky's, around on the globe and so many things. Share the picture. He's on Instagram, which I love. I follow, and we always are tagging Parky on everything. I just feel that we have to get everybody listening to share this, but more importantly, to understand that the World Parkinson Congress is out there for you. They're doing some incredible things that we're going to mention. And one of the most important people really planning a lot of this is Ruby, which is leading the way with Eli and the whole team. Also, a little bit about Parky's background, as my wife is really incredibly helping me now. Parky was born in the summer of 2012 when Bob Kuhn, I hope I said that right, WPC 2013 ambassador, traveled the world with a cardboard cutout of Parky, which he used to spark conversations with people with Parkinson's who could not speak English, which honestly I didn't know. So that's why we do this show, because I learned something new. If it wasn't for that and awareness, I probably wouldn't continue. This is actually almost episode 200. We plan to do one of these a month. It's become 80. So, and that's only because of all of you listening and because of individuals like Ruby and Parky. Again, it just got to give you a hug. I hope someday we'll be able to meet Parky and you too.
Yeah, and it's, it's amazing how and we'll talk a little bit more about this, I'm sure, but it's amazing how when Parky is at the World Parkinson's Congress, how anybody, it could be a doctor, a scientist, they're doing like this amazing research, but then they see Parky is like he's a celebrity, it's like I want to take a picture with him. So yeah, it's just amazing how from a cutout now that somebody created, now this is like one of the icons, or one of the most important things also at the WPC. And the reason that it's a raccoon is because raccoons are like a night creature, and sometimes one of the things that happens with Parkinson's is that people can't sleep. So he was trying to relate the one of the symptoms with this with the raccoon. So, and then the name came out with Parky and things like that. So yeah, but we're really excited that he has been doing a lot of he's been in like a lot of countries, and you can see it if you go to the website. You actually can see a map where all the places that people take pictures with Parky, and then you can see that. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate Parky's time. Like I said, we actually had NFL players, we've had NHL players, we've had Major League Baseball athletes who have Parkinson's and foundations, basketball professional. But Parky's appearance today is really at the above. No offense to them, but at the top. So I do really want to thank Parky for your time, and we send our love, support to you and all that you do, because you really are changing many lives. And my goal here, and I know Ruby's show today, is to get everyone on board, because we need everyone in this fight towards a cure. But we need everyone also, more importantly, to know about the World Parkinson Congress, because like me, kind of, the only journey that breaks my heart today is the one I'm not aware of. But I imagine there are people still not aware. And now, hopefully, through this show, we will make them join aboard. And I want to see a lot of hugs for Parky live in the Arizona in 2026. So thanks, and Parky, please keep in touch. We love you.
Bye, Parky. I'll see you next time. I'll let you know when is your next appearance.
Gig. He, he has some gigs coming up. It's like, I think he'll be on American Idol coming up soon. So
Yeah.
back to Ruby and so much, because I mean, we could do a show just on World Parkinson Congress, and I'm really excited to talk about the Muhammad Ali work because we had the honor to have Rashid Ali give us a message. It's on Together for Sharon, and also I interviewed May May, so they're all our family too. And as you know, we're all family in this fight. But maybe we could start with the World Parkinson Congress. I just hope we have the time. And I always say the show is going to be continued, even if it doesn't happen for years from now. We have to keep this conversation going until there's a cure. But what, how did you heard my journey and how I discovered World Parkinson Congress, but obviously you're one of the figures of the really making this happen. I want to shout out to our mutual friend too, and my brother Mark Millo, who's probably listening, and he's a big reason also we kind of met. So I want to thank him. But what was that one day where you kind of woke up and just all of a sudden discovered something called the World Parkinson Congress?
Well, like I mentioned before, I started volunteering for the Muhammad Ali Parkinson Center for specifically for the Hispanic Outreach Program. The reason is because my mom only speaks Spanish. So for me, it was important for her to understand, what she was going through and have the education in her native language. And at that time, the coordinator that was in charge of the program here, Claudia Martinez, um, I didn't know anything about where to find help. So I went to Google and I found the Muhammad Ali Parkinson Center. I found that they had a line in Spanish. So
Mhm.
I called her. I talked to her for a while and then we started coming to the programs. We started doing, the support groups, the classes. My mom is, we have a choir. So my mom it's in the choir. I was in the choir too. And then I started, volunteering for the Hispanic Outreach Program, and that's when Claudia mentioned the Congress, and it's like, this is going to happen. We, people that, it's an event that happens every 4 years, and it's a really great event. So my first World Parkinson's Congress actually in Portland in 2016. So the next one is going to be 10 years. So it's incredible to say, oh my God, it's been 10 years. But yeah, so what we did is we have a group of volunteers. They help out with the program. And we said, okay, we're gonna go, and we started raising money. We did some fundraising to be able to do that. And one of the things that we did also is the WPC has volunteers that if you volunteer, you get your registration waive fee. So that's what we did. We registered as volunteers. We were picked to be volunteers. So that was one less cost. We had to figure it out. And then we went to the Congress. It was like maybe 5 or 6 of us that went to the Congress. And the idea was to be able to learn different things. We kind of made a plan of who was going to go to certain topics or who was going to volunteer in different rooms. That way we also were able to get the information. And then when we came back, we share that with the rest of the group and our group of patients also, of course, that couldn't make it.
Yeah, I want to share a few things, but well, first, I want to thank you for always being so available and really willing to share all you do. And everyone, if you have time, go to togetherforsharon.com. You can click interviews and see a lot more in depth with Ruby, her background, and also how to support all that she's doing, and her incredible mother, too, who's still battling PD, but also, everyone out there, because the things that Ruby's doing, I think it's just incredible. But before we get to the, drum roll for your beautiful background too, which I love, can you tell us a little bit more on how you think we can team up more to reach the Spanish population? Because as I mentioned earlier, my wife is Cuban. My mother-in-law only speaks Spanish in my home, so she lives with us. My children are all learning Spanish. I took it for 10 años, but no, don't remember everything. But I do think that it's so important to include, the Spanish population because they're battling this too, and it's not fair to leave someone out or not be able to find that important neurologist because they just can't communicate. So I think what you're doing is very important, spearheading something that's a movement too. It's kind of like we were battling for Parkinson, but then there's another movement which is, also caring about all different race, gender, and things. And I had the honor, one of the World Parkinson's actual ambassadors is, I won't say who because I don't know if she wants to know, but she's taking my first book, my mother's journey, the son's journey from Parkinson's caregiver to advocate, and translating the entire book into Spanish. So that's something that really means a lot to me. And hopefully I'll even be able to get it to you and offer it for free. I don't, that's why we do this, because I just want, everyone out there to know they're never alone. So, what is something everyone listening can do to also, if they're only able to speak Spanish and maybe they have a caregiver that speaks English, how could we ensure that they learn about World Parkinson's and Muhammad Ali and so many other resources they just don't know about?
Well, in our, and you put it up on the website and your Together for Sharon website, there is a link to our page in Spanish for the center where you can see all the information that we have available. And our programs are open to anybody that speaks Spanish, even if they're not here in the United States. So that's one of the things that we're doing. Another thing that we're doing is that we are collaborating with all the other PD organizations that have somebody that speaks Spanish and they're doing program in Spanish. So we get together once a month. Claudia Martinez created a coalition, or it's called Hope Pals, and all of us are there. And then to not replicate the programs or anything like that, we kind of talk about what's going on, what are we doing, and then we also do two webinars, one in April for Parkinson's Awareness Month, and then we do another one in September, October for Hispanic Heritage Month, where in April we share all the stuff that we're doing for Parkinson's Awareness Month, and then also we do the Hispanic Heritage Month in October. So we do that. One of the things that is going to be happening on this Congress is that they're going to have not simultaneous interpretation, but people that it's going to the Congress is going to be able to download an app, and they're going to be able to have translation for for all the topics. And then also, if you put it up in if you have your headphones, you're gonna the app it was gonna be able to read it, and it's not gonna be in Spanish. I think it's like 80 languages that they're doing. So that's one of the things. And then also another thing that we are working on with Eli is to have like a room, so we can, people that is wanting to meet, like you created a connection, and it's like, okay, I want to see what you're doing in your country, or I want to see how we can, work together, or like create initiatives and things like that. We're trying to get a room that is for that, and also have that room also be part of some exercise classes, and maybe some of the presenters, they're bilingual, be able to present some of their talks in that room. That's something that we're working on. Still, they haven't finished. Once they finish the scientific program and all that, then the coalition or other organization can move on to like other things. But right now, finish on the scientific program is the most important thing that it's on their mind right now. Once they do that, then we can start working on other things, like the renewal room and the caregivers lounge and a lot of other things that they're part of the Congress.
Do you think you'll ever go virtual? Because I know for me, unfortunately, due to work, it's tough to go out of the country, but I would pay personally and support, the World Parkinson Congress. But just curious because of the times we're in and technology is so good. Plus, I wanted to tell everyone this is the actual Spanish flyer, which we're going to share too. And you can also follow the World Parkinson Congress like I do on TikTok, which I love, Instagram and Facebook, and I want to see everyone we need 1 million likes today. So until we have 1 million on every page, I won't rest. And Ruby knows I'm being honest. But do you think that's something that could
And
happen?
I'll send you the new, there's some dates that have
Sure,
changed
no problem.
just because of
Yeah.
when you live out of the United States and you're trying to apply for a visa, you have to have some things already, like you have to have your plane ticket or
Yeah.
your accommodations and things like that. So they're going to they switch some of the dates, and I will send you that updated information. That way you can upload it to your website, and then this podcast. Um, I don't know, like, I don't make, I don't do
Right.
any kind of decisions on how, if it will ever go virtual, but the experience of attending a World Parkinson's Congress is, I think it's what it makes it unique, because you are, you build this, is like the time, when you have a time, what is it called when you counting the days to be able to go somewhere. It kind of feels like that. Okay, and for example, last year we used to say, oh, in 2026. Now this year's like next year we're gonna be at the World Parkinson's Congress.
Mhm.
So just being able to go in person and meet those all those people that you've been working for the last 1 year, 2 years, or even 3 years since you started, it's amazing. I was a volunteer coordinator for Barcelona, and for a year, we were working all the coordinators, and then we started doing the calls with the volunteers. And when we got there, and you kind of felt like you knew them already for like a really long time because you were working with them for a year. So it's just a little different. They do upload the all some of the talks and everything after the Congress in the website. So you're able to see some stuff afterwards. Yeah, for sure.
Thanks. Yeah, I know so many of these individuals who become my family too. So it's just beautiful to keep reliving those moments that never will be forgotten and continue on through your amazing work and the entire coalition and the Parkinson's World Parkinson Congress. I also want to shout out again one time and please support Parky. I mean, this has to be up to 2 million. So forget the World Parkinson Congress. We need that to 1 million, but Parky needs 2 million likes. So please, also on Instagram, if you go to Parky the Raccoon, you can see and follow him. I've been doing that for some time, and it's just it makes you smile even through some of the tougher times. It's not a day that doesn't go back that I don't think of my mother and kind of understand what the heck happened. Even 5 years later, I don't understand why it progressed. But when I turn to Parky and to all of you, it helps me still grieve. So thank you for that. Also, if everyone wants, like I did, to purchase they're really reasonable. You can get a few, and it's a simple process. They come pretty fast, but you can also purchase one at the World Parkinson Coalition website. And also, we mentioned earlier, the incredible website where you can follow along Parky, but now you know he'll be in Arizona in 2026. So before we move to,
Yeah, and one of the things that it's important to mention is that when you purchase a parky, the money goes to a travel grant for
yeah,
somebody. So it's not like, they're keeping any of the money. Everything goes for somebody that wants to go to the Congress, but is not able, it can't afford it, then they can apply for those travel grants. So that's one of the things that you have, you want to keep in mind also.
That's very important. And I also like on your website, I don't know where is this moment, but I have viewed it where there are many individuals also raising funds so that they can travel or other individuals who might not be able to afford it. I'm not sure
Yeah,
exactly.
they're gonna be having a campaign to raise funds to be able to send young onset people with Parkinson's disease to the Congress.
Right.
Now we have Laura Olmos. She speaks Spanish and English, so she's been doing a lot of things in Spanish for them. And then her campaign is gonna be running the whole year. And then you have other people that it's gonna do it every month, and then all the money that you donate, it goes to somebody for a travel grant with young onset Parkinson's. So that's the
And,
unique thing about that.
and we've been sharing this a lot because luckily I'd say 90% of these amazing ambassadors and volunteers have been on the show. So I think I might have said the word World Parkinson Congress 4,000 times in the last year because that's what impact it has made on me. And having you, Eli, and the entire organization support just means the world. Wanted to shift to the final area, which is somebody who is a hero to so many, and the Ali Center, something that I don't think again everyone is aware of. I know everyone is likely in the world aware of Mr. Ali and his incredible family, but maybe you could talk us through as I scroll a little bit about the center and what they offer for people with Parkinson's.
Well, that's not our center, just let you
Uh,
know.
Yeah, this is the museum, but to me,
Yeah,
they're all
uh-huh.
cool.
So
Yeah.
the Muhammad Ali Parkinson Center, it's part of the Barrow Neurological Institute and is located in Phoenix, Arizona. We have here, the clinic, and then we have the outreach department, and then we also have the therapy department. So that is, that's what we have here. One of the things that it's important is that um, yes, there is a research department in the clinic and things like that, but what we're trying to do right here in our outreach department, it's more like we know that there is no cure for Parkinson's at this time. We know there is not medication that is going to stop the progression. Yes, there's a lot of things out there, new surgeries now that they're going on, like DBS, focus ultrasound, like the two new pumps that just got approved. But that also that yes, it helps with the symptoms and it helps with all that, but it doesn't stop anything. You still are having those good days and bad days and things like that. So what we're trying to do here is to have give the resources to the people that cross, those doors to be able to have a good quality of life right now. Like that means in doing exercise, having a support group, doing things that, they didn't thought that they could do. Like I run a painting workshop and it is amazing on how they get, on their little stone of just getting into that painting and expressing what they're trying to put in the canvas, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing how that hour and a half, 2 hours that they have to do that, it's just to me, when my mom started doing that, I was like, Mom, I can't paint. I'm like, and now I like to paint. I like to do it. I like to do it with her. Sometimes we just at the house, sometimes we'll pull up some canvases and some paint and we'll start painting and, grab some like inspiration, and then she'll do whatever. She'll do a painting like in an hour, but so.
It's amazing all the different skills people learn and turn to, like art, music, and things, after being diagnosed. But it's also for the caregivers, the caretakers, and the whole family. And here's the website. I'll share again with the audience. But as you mentioned, art classes, exercise support, there's just so much for everybody. And I think it's beautiful. And also, it's a really informative website. And here's a photo of two individuals at the art. You might even know them probably. But
Mhm.
I like, again, so much to share, but I do want everyone to get involved, to reach out to Ruby and the Barrow Neurological Institute and see a lot more on the Muhammad Ali Parkinson Center. And just so much to do here and so much to say that just grateful that individuals like the Ali family still fight back like Mr. Michael J. Fox does, because their voice really reaches so many. And we don't want them just to be associated, with celebrity and boxing, but to know that he also battled this disease and he's still a winner, in my opinion, forever through everybody like you and your advocacy. So I wanted to thank you again for all of that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ways that you can, going back to the Congress, there's a lot of ways that you can participate. You can be a volunteer. There's going to be a video and sound competition. You can submit an abstract of any work that you're doing, if you're doing any research or anything that it has to do with like, uh, you know, making the quality of life better for people with Parkinson's. So there's a couple, there's a lot of things that you can do to be able to participate. So if you are out of the country, start planning on coming, get your visa, getting ready, and things like that. So yeah. Um,
And also you can sign up for updates, which I'll be doing right after the show. But it's
yeah. Uh-huh.
all right, so much to also review. I mean, I spent 20 hours on that side and I love it. So, and also I'm excited to hear about the book nook, which I was told by a lot of people it's really important. So that's something I hope to hear more about. I wanted
Well,
to,
and I hope we can see one of your books there. I
I
don't know. I don't know when you have time to write a book with all the things that you do.
I don't, I have I'm a lawyer and a cop and PhD and swore after all that school I would never write again. But then, when I went through leaving the world of advocating for family members who lost a loved one due to murder in Florida and all over the country. A lot of times victims don't really have any rights and are forgotten. Kind of correlated that a little to my experience through Parkinson's, as we didn't even know it was a disease for several years until my mother kind of caught up and progressed. And then I fell into being a caregiver, like many out there listening have. It wasn't really something I planned or took a course on. And I kept a diary the last year, a journal of her last year. I didn't know it was going to be her last year, and it was something I can't even talk about a lot. So I said, why not look into a little bit more? And I was shocked to find out, and I always challenge all the audience to let me know if I'm wrong. There isn't a book from a son in the world, like literally in the world, who lost their mother due to Parkinson's. And I said, you can't have that. So that's what started it. And then the other books and things are same thing. I see aspects in my life that are missing in the world of awareness. And that's why we do this. So that's the, we don't want money. We donate all of it to organizations like World Parkinson's. And I mean, we can even do something after if anyone purchased, they could all go to the World Parkinson's Congress. But, those are some important things. You just got to keep advocating until the cure is at everybody's doorsteps around the world. As we wrap up, unfortunately, because we can talk for several hours and then you won't be my friend anymore. So I just maybe you could tell us a few little things. These I usually go more in depth, but again, we're limited on the time. But is there one moment or most memorable moment that stands out through all of your advocacy that you can share? I know it's not easy, but one special moment.
There, I have had a lot of special moments, a lot, through this. When my mom got diagnosed with Parkinson's, yes, I didn't know a lot about it, but then once I started learning and things like that, because at first you kind of ask, why my mom? There's other siblings, why is she only one that got diagnosed with Parkinson's? And that was a question that that I kept asking myself a lot, like why my mom? Why? So I stopped asking that questions. Instead of that, I said, so what are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do as a family? What am I gonna do as a daughter? One of the things that I don't think that I will want to my mom to forget or become, I don't want to say, oh, I'm a caregiver for my mom. I say I'm Ruby, I'm Corina's daughter, and then say, I'm her caregiver or something like that. I don't know. I don't want to put that first instead of saying I'm her daughter. But over the years when I first started my journey as an advocate for Parkinson's, I think I've been able to meet a lot of great, amazing people. But I think the most, and I'm gonna cry now. I think
Sorry.
knowing or like getting to know John Humphreys was one of the best things that it could happen to me because he pushed me to like, hey chica, because he used to call me chica because he thought he spoke Spanish. um I think knowing him and having pushed me to apply for so many things, like, hey, there's a training for become a research advocate for the Parkinson's Foundation. I'm like, oh, come on, Jen. It's like, apply. And then I was able to, I met him and, I knew him from online and then I met him in person the first time I went to Washington, D.C. And from there, it was just, a friendship that I don't think I'll ever forget. So it, seeing him last in Barcelona, seeing his picture in the screen from the people that passed away, there were key, he did so many research on Parkinson. He did so many things for the community. Like seeing his picture there and having a book dedicated to him, I think that's one of the things that I'll probably remember the most. And of course, having my mom get up every single day with Parkinson's and go on her day, that it could be she's been doing a lot of things, so she'll only do a little bit, but waking up and getting up and trying to have the best day that she can have, those are the things that kind of keep me going too. So yeah, but yeah, I don't think that I could mention just one person because I would
Right.
not, that would make it justice to everybody that I have met. But also Claudia Martinez, that she was like, she's kind of like my mentor. I still talk to her a lot and teaching me how to run a program, how to be a coordinator, how to be a better leader. But, all the other persons that have touched my life, from like not having anybody with Parkinson's, but just loving the community, to, people with Parkinson's or caregivers, like everything, all of it is like special.
Yeah, I think through your work, this show, we still not only remember those we've lost, like my mother and John, but I always say they're probably dancing and smiling together right now. And Julie has been on the show. I don't usually name names, but she's a family too now. And we talked about John and dedicated that show to him, and we will again today. So, they do live on through all of your work and all the things that we do. So thank you for sharing that. And this is a tough one to follow up with. So
Mhm.
can you describe 3 words that might describe who you are?
Oh my God. I don't know. I think I I'm really patient. I'm gonna say that. Um, I have a lot of empathy, and I don't know. I'm kind of fun. I don't know. I love Disneyland, so I don't know.
That's why I told you all before this happened, Parky has to meet Mickey someday.
Oh,
That's
I know,
we're
definitely.
in
That
Florida, and Orlando is actually where I met Michael J. Fox, and we'll be going back to do an event there in March, but I think he needs to join us in Miami, actually, forget Orlando.
yeah.
But
Yeah, no, I don't, it's some, I think it's hard to describe yourself, it's a hard question to answer. But um I just feel like I'm just an instrument of, after my mom was diagnosed, I like you did, I didn't stop just on trying to be a better daughter for her, or even with my I think my sisters and I have created a great team for my mom. And it's not, and when a person gets diagnosed with Parkinson's, it's not just the person that gets diagnosed, it's the whole family. My mom, I think my youngest son was like 4 when she got diagnosed. So if you think about it, that's all that kind of he remembers. And yes, for the first maybe 15 years or something like that, you don't see it. But one of the things that I was telling somebody the other day is like, I can see Parkinson's in my mom now, like
Mhm.
in the last year. Before, I was like, oh, she has Parkinson's, she has Parkinson's. But now, like, I think this last year, I can see it. I can really see it. And it's hard. But then I think we have a really good, my mom has a really good care system with her. It's just not me and my sisters. It's, that I, if it's she's in Tucson, or she's here, or she's in Mexico with my other sister, we all look at the changes and we talk about it. But then also now it's my kids and my nephews and my great niece that are like looking out for her, like either opening a class or taking it to a doctor's appointment. So I wish everybody had that support. I wish that I can clone my family and give it to everybody that has Parkinson's, but I know I can't do that. But doing things like this, doing the work that we do here, I think it's helping a little bit.
Well, I really appreciate that. And it's the first show I'm going to assign homework to everybody listening. You're going to have to go to several websites. One of them, the most important, is the World Parkinson Congress. Sign up for the newsletter, which I'm doing now. Go like them and subscribe and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And of course, please do not forget our special guest, Parky, all over the world, and the Muhammad Ali Center and the museum. In my opinion, is beautiful, but also the most beautiful thing is our time together. I did want to leave us again. I don't say it's the end because I feel to be continued, and you never know, we might do a 1 minute live show in Arizona in 2026, I hope.
Yeah.
But if you could leave the Parkinson's community with some words of encouragement, what would they be? Although you already
I
did.
would probably say, think about that you're not alone, that there is somebody else out there that is going through the same things that you're going through. If you think that you have a crazy idea of starting your own organization, don't think that it's a crazy idea. Like, find how to do it. especially if you're not in a country where there's anything in there. Um, and and try to connect with those people that are already doing the job that we don't have to redo it. Why reinvent the wheel? That's one of my mottos, that it's already out there. And I'm gonna say it in Spanish also. That way, people that speak Spanish or they want to learn a little bit more. Es decirles que no están solos, que hay una comunidad muy grande de Parkinson que está aquí para apoyarlos, ya sea localmente o internacionalmente. El Congreso Mundial de Parkinson es una de esas organizaciones, así que espero que puedan estar presentes en Arizona. I hope to see you here in Arizona, see you in my hometown, show you my city, show you what we do here, and yeah, that's it.
Well, I really appreciate your time, and we send our love and support to the whole family and to the entire organization, World Parkinson Congress and Muhammad Ali Center for allowing, this time today. As you know, means the world to me. I also have a message for you, Ruby, and Parky, wherever he is, and the entire World Parkinson's Congress and all the ambassadors. There's so many, but we love you, we support you, we care a lot about you, and you're never alone. I, along with Ruby and the World Parkinson Congress, will advocate for you, and together I feel our voices are so much stronger. And I always end the show with just saying I'm just getting started, but I know Ruby is too, because even though we've been doing this for some time, every day. I mean, I won't get into it, but tomorrow I'm actually going to see a doctor about a back stimulator, which is not something I wanted because I've had several back surgeries that just didn't work. And even though it's going to be tough, painful, and don't want to do it, I forget it all for a moment, think about Ruby, her mother, and all of you, and kind of like a Jay-Z song, shake it off, or brush it off, and get advocacy, because that to me is all that matters right now. And we still have work to do until there's a cure at everybody's doorsteps around the world. So thank you again, Ruby, and thank you everyone for listening. What an honor, and really just something that I'll never forget.
Oh, thank you for the invitation, George. And like I said, you're not alone. And I hope to see you here in Phoenix in 2026, of course, so we can take a picture with Parky this time.
I love that. And thank Parky, please, again. I'm going to have to watch this one myself several times. It was just so lot of fun. But thank you again. And thank you, everyone. This has been another episode of Q&A with Sharon's son, George. Please stay tuned. We have so much more to come because we still have a lot of work to do until the cure is here. But until the cure is here, for all those battling Parkinson's today, we send our love, support, and to the families. We won't stop until the cure is here. And I am confident with everybody out there working together, sharing this, coming to the World Parkinson Congress, we're definitely going to be closer to that cure. So thanks, everyone. Send our love. See you soon.
Bye.